Hi, my name is Helia Singh and welcome to my show, Wealth Coaching with Helia Singh, the fastest way to build wealth. Very excited to introduce our special guest today, and that's Michael from 101 Media. Thanks for coming today, Michael.
You're very welcome. Gee, I'm normally behind the camera.
That's right. He's the man responsible for everything you see out there. So,
I tell you what, your show has been getting a lot of traction. People are starting to interact. I watched and when I produced your interview with Cham last week, quite a few people picked up quite a bit of knowledge with Cham's map, and then yourself when you said about marketing for employees, and people going, oh, I haven't even thought of this.
Yeah, no, that's great. It is great. No, thank you very much for that. I mean, the reason we have you here today is because we were talking about the fear in terms of wealth creation. And I remember when I met you about 6 months ago, I told you about this YouTube channel and stuff. And but honestly, initially my thought was, okay, I'll just do a few sessions on YouTube talking about my courses that I have. So just to let the people know everywhere in the world what is out there. But only you talked me into it to have a channel and have a episode every month to talk about different areas. That was something I never even thought about it. And I remember when you said it that day, it just felt just right. But at the same time, when I was at home and I was thinking about it, I said, oh my God, what if after 2 sessions I will run out of topics? I can't believe it. And stuff like that. It's just then when I listened to myself and when I wrote down all my fears, and I found that no, it is only sitting up here. It doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't exist at all. And when I find it, people talk about topics and they say, well, do you have a teleprompter? And I'm going, what, you need to read about yourself? But people go, no, that's not what I meant. It was that's what you just said. So it's actually quite fascinating how much knowledge somebody has got. And when you get someone like yourself who's going, no, I want to share that. Wow, that just opens up so many doors.
No, it's great, and thanks to you to even give me that options and ability, or at least you helped me to get over that fear. Without you, I wouldn't be able to get to where I am now.
I think we've all got the fear. It's and you talk about wealth creation and people's, and you talked about fear in your last episode. People are scared that they'll make the money. Then, well, what happens if I lose the money? And it's like, what? We're not even there. And what about the tax I'll pay? Here, I'm earning $80,000 a year now. I only pay $10,000. If you earn me $1 million, I'm going to pay all that tax, Helia.
Yeah, that's right.
The fears are a bit silly when we look at them.
That's right. But I'll always tell them, half something better than nothing. So just get over it. Tax is given. We have to pay it. So that's why when you are just doing in wealth creation concept, when you are doing goal setting, let's say 100,000 a year income. So okay, just make it 150,000 because 50,000 you have to pay the tax. So that's easier. Then you don't have to worry about the tax part.
And I say to people, when they're on the, and most people, we live in a capitalist society, so we need some money to enjoy ourselves, especially when we're getting into our retirement. And they do have these fears. And that's why I think someone like yourself who's a wealth coach, you've actually got someone to lean on. You can say, look, me and my wife, we're now earning $250,000 a year and we're sole traders and we're paying too much tax and we're scared. And you go, hold on, let me help you pass some of this. And I think having someone in your corner as a mentor is one of the biggest steps you can actually take to actually creating wealth that you're going to keep.
Oh, for sure. Because again, when it comes to financial planning, people are so much thinking about the products or selling products that they forget about the actual concept and why people are there. They're just there to get the ease with money, that concept that, okay, it's what is possible. And what's the journey, how we go from it. Especially when you are talking to clients who are engineer one or like a left brainer, they like to see everything mapped.
Yes.
And which is great. So, but at the same time, I'll just tell them, yes, in a perfect world, it should be this, but I'll have to always leave some, space for error or things that we can't even, predict in advance.
And I think a lot of people, when they go into wealth creation, they create blocks themselves. They go for detail. They go, I'm on 60, 70, $80,000 a year. I want to be financially independent. You say, what does that look? Well, if I had a couple of million, okay. But because they've gone there, they suddenly go, all these problems.
Yeah.
Well, how about we get you from the 60, 70, 80,000? How about we get you 150,000?
Exactly.
Pay a bit of tax and you've still got more in your pocket. Then why don't we take you to 250? And then why don't we and step it, and the problems shrink.
Exactly.
But you're constantly, what I like about when you coach people and you mentor them, is you're looking at it from the point of view, you've achieved that, celebrate that, you've earned it, so you deserve it, and then you're saying to them, what next?
Exactly. Exactly.
And you ask them to stretch themselves.
Yeah.
And people get amazed. I'm amazed I'm able to do this.
Exactly. That's why wealth creation is a journey, not a destination. You can't just say that, okay, I want to get this much money, I want to get there, that's it. It's a step by step. This is exactly what I'm teaching in my financial goal setting course, which is free, available. And to say that, okay, the first thing is just make your goal snackable size. If you jump on a $2 million, assets, it's not possible. We know that. I mean, not if you don't have that much money or income or any asset. So, but if you just make it snackable, if your income was 60,000 as you mentioned, and now let's aim it to bring it to 100,000, then we will go to it. So, because that by itself, you will know that yes, you can do it. Because again, every growth, you just learn something new.
I do like the way you block it for people. Like they got all this big map. They look at the huge map. And you kind of, using that analogy, you kind of break it down into the countries and then the state and say, we only have to look at this piece. That's your whole map, but we just start here. And I think by bringing people there and then letting them grow and fill that area, that space, so they own it, and then say, now you can own a bigger chunk. And you seem to step them through this process. At the end of the day, they're looking, going, I own the whole map. How did I get here, Helia?
Exactly. It's amazing how our brain can deceive us. We get so much crowded in our brain and too much noise out there. We're just trying to get the best strategy, one formula, one thing. But no, it's not. So you need to learn step by step. Just calm down that brain and just take it easy, relax, and learn step by step.
I think because you don't just mentor people, help them, you actually teach them strategies and help them learn new strategies for the next level. The strategies that get you here aren't the same strategies that are going to get you the bigger piece of pie. You actually grow them. It often reminds me of, you hear this, millionaires. I've been through it myself. You've earned your first couple of million. Something goes wrong and you lose it. But how fast you get it back again?
Oh, very fast.
Because you already know the lessons.
Exactly. Because you already went down that road before. Because it's easy, so you know how to do it, where it went wrong, and how to avoid it next time.
And I think that's what helps people with yourself, because you're self-made.
Yes.
I mean, you weren't born into wealth. No one went, here's $5 million, Helia, go do your uni degree and have a nice life.
I'm glad actually that didn't happen to me.
You had to learn along the way. I mean, even to the fact that when you were doing your degrees and you didn't speak English as your first language. In fact, you didn't speak English. You had to get a dictionary to go. I don't know how you did it. You were converting from one language to another. How hard is that? Yet you did it.
Yep, it was hard, but when you know your why is strong enough, anything is possible. That's why we see that, how humans' bodies, of course, we are limited to our, whatever is our physiology. But you've seen all these stories, or you've seen it on TV that, okay, a flood happens and a weak mother, so she just carries a couple of her babies or something. So Why? Because that time she is so much, thinking about saving her children that she doesn't care about, okay, what's their weight and whether her body can carry this weight.
Yes.
But the same way, if your why is strong enough, you will go through things that you want.
It's an interesting point because people say to me, what drives you? And I think it does come back to your why. I love helping people. I love helping business owners, in particular, create great businesses. That's my passion. But when it comes to wealth creation, you said it earlier about, it's not just having a target and say, I'll earn $1 million. I think you phrased it, it's a journey, not a destination.
That's right.
And it comes back to this why. Do you find that people who aren't getting to something that they hope and wish for and pray that they're going to get, it's because they don't understand the why behind it? How do you help them break that down and get there?
Well, I always tell them to see why you want something, because often when people they say they want $1 million, it's not what they want. It's just because they've been hearing from others. They
it's think, the adverts.
Exactly. So that only $1 million is going to solve my problem, or if I have 1 million, I'm going to have a self-funded, retirement. So it's not even their own dream. So that's the first problem.
Yes.
So they haven't done their own research. They don't know what it works for them.
Yeah. I remember I did this exercise myself and someone said $1 million. And when you set off, it's like, I'll make $1 million, that'll be great. And I started breaking it down here and I went, okay, so I want this type of car and then I want this type of house and then I want this money and interest. And I went, $1 million's not enough.
Yeah, that's right.
And I got scared.
Yeah.
I went, well, this is impossible. This is getting bigger than men. Maybe I shouldn't even try. Is that a common thing with, I'm able to have a mentor to break through that, but that was the emotion I went through.
Oh, for sure. That's why I tell people when they want to write down their goal settings or whatever they wish for, please write down the feeling associated with that thought. Because if that feeling is, oh, it can't happen, or I'm not lucky, or I'm not smart enough, or anything like that, there is a way to break it. There is a way to come around it. Because if you don't know why you want something, there's no way you're going to follow it. That's as simple as that. Nobody is going to put their time and effort in something that means that they are not 100%, their body says that, yes, I want this.
One thing that strikes me with people who make it, and yourself included, your goals or your whys go beyond just you. You're always looking at if I get to this, how can I help other people? You make your why external as well as internal.
Of course. And at least this is my observation, my experience, that if it's only about us, well, unfortunately, then this is how it sounds selfish, that people just think, why that person is so much self-centered and, or they are not even enjoying their life. We all know some rich people, they are not even enjoying their life, or at least we perceive they are not enjoying their life.
Yep.
So, but if our goal is bigger than us, so whatever it is, maybe it's just about our kids, maybe it's about our community, maybe about, the world peace, whatever it is. So then that's the time that it's beyond me. So if it's beyond me, so then I don't have to worry about that, okay, how many likes I've got there. It's not about the ego, it's not about the fan. So it's about your message.
Do you think when you mentor clients, I've found it when I've worked with people in front of camera and I say, look, I'm very sorry, but it's actually, when you're in front of camera, it's actually not about me and you. Yeah. It's always about the person watching. What can we give them? They're watching for a reason. Yeah. They want it to be about them. Do you find when you do that in wealth creation and you get people to say, okay, I've heard what you want. When you get here, how can you help out? Who's external to you? Do you find that then they go, oh, I actually want it more now because I can do this? Do you think it's natural in people to want to help and have an impact and leave a legacy, basically?
That's the great thing about the human brain, and that's what brings back the faith in humanity, that every time, no matter who I speak to, even I had the privilege to help women who were just been released from prison, to give them workshop and teach them financial skills. It doesn't matter what they've done and what they went through in their life. It's just that humanity comes out, and for them to say that how else they can do. So that's beautiful. That even that ignite that feeling that it is possible that they can have a contribution to make a better world for everyone by leaving a legacy or even at least teaching their own kids what to do, that's beautiful.
It reminds me of when you did the interview with Cham, and he's very, very successful, and he's such a nice guy. And you actually asked him at the end of that, if you haven't seen that interview, you should actually watch it. And you asked him at the conclusion of the show what he wants to be remembered for. And it wasn't for how much money he made.
Of course.
Was it?
No,
he wanted to be remembered for how many people he'd helped.
Exactly.
And he'd helped other people achieve their dreams.
Exactly.
It was a fascinating thing to look inside the psyche of someone who has gone through a journey, being successful, but he's just made it about other people. I'm wondering if that is, do you find that is a common trait to actually, or one of the secrets to actually making yourself successful and wealthy?
Oh, very much. This is definitely one of the secret or unspoken, secret so far. That yes, people, the rich people and successful people, they look at something beyond money. Money is inevitable. Once you're successful, money comes in. Yeah. So if we shift our focus from money to create something that helps everyone, that's inevitable. The money will come with it.
Yes.
It's natural.
It's really interesting. Do you think when people, and you mentor people, so you have a hand on this as well, they look and they go, but I can't impact other people, Helia. I'm just me.
That's
How many times do you come across that?
Yes, I hear that a lot. And I told them, when I told them my story, my life, that it just shows them that, look, anybody can have an impact.
Yes.
Everybody have a story inside you. Doesn't matter what you've done, even if you ended up in prison and now come out, still your lesson can be valuable to many, many people.
Do you think that we see so much that people think, I have to be like that person or by that person, but when you talk to them, you're going, no, you are enough.
Exactly.
Because your story is fascinating. You came to Australia, where we are now, had to learn another language. I don't know how you did it. I tried learning language, I can't do it. I went through, but they made it all about helping other people. Do you think you tap into your own experiences? Do you think that's what you teach people? Tap into your own experiences and you'll find your who you are and who you can help?
Oh, for sure. That's why I said that I chose to use my weakness, which is my English barrier and my accent, to use it as a strength to help others.
That's fascinating, isn't it?
And I know, I couldn't work it out. I couldn't, change my accent. That's who I am. I was old enough to come to Australia and learn a new language, so let alone learning a new accent. That was absolutely not in my area of skills. Yes. But what I learned, so that's why I tapped into my strength, how I can change my weakness to a strength. So how can I use my fear to something better or make a fortune out of it?
Yes.
So this is the way I want people to start thinking, that challenge yourself. And I don't remember, someone said this quote, it's beautiful, it said, don't try to copy others, everybody else is taken. Okay, just to be yourself, And to me, if we really, really think about this, it said that even though people try to copy others, you can't ever copy that person themselves. You can copy their strategy, even maybe the way they talk or even dress up like them, but you can't be that person.
No.
So even though, like, let's say, obviously I prepare for our interview, but when you sit in front of camera, things comes out to your mind naturally, and it's just, you talk about it. But of course somebody else can use this paper and copy me and do the same thing, but they can't have that natural instinct that comes out of my experience, my life.
They can't bring that. One of the things that I've personally found is when you actually follow yourself and you have confidence and you have a mentor like yourself who gives you confidence to be yourself, you kind of don't look at the world the same ever again. It shifts.
Completely.
You see things totally different. Someone who is in a position, and I get it in front of camera, and they say, how do I get in front of camera? So we just sit in front of it. That's all right. We'll laugh and we'll joke and you'll talk to it, but talk to a person. if someone's struggling in getting a breakthrough, what is some of the advice that you give them to have confidence to be themselves? What are you saying to people to believe in themselves?
A few strategies that I used it for myself. So the first of all, definitely, practice, practice, practice. That's the first thing.
Yes.
Which of course that comes out of action. You can't practice by reading something. You really have to do the action to do it. You will be surprised that one day I'm going to put so many videos out there from a couple of years ago that nobody has seen them yet, but how was in front of camera. And I used to do them, put myself there, and then look at it and said, nope, bad idea, and leave it there. But again, practice. That's the first thing, practice. And then having a mentor. As I mentioned, that session that I had, a few sessions I had with Steve Wells.
Yes.
He helped me to navigate through this, that it's not about me. Just keep telling me, it's not about you, Helia, in front of camera.
Yes.
So it's about people who are watching.
Absolutely.
Detach yourself from outcome. So then you'll never be worried about who commented what or who didn't like it or anything. So it's just about your message.
It's interesting when you get a message like that's why I say to people in front of camera. So that is the core. So people say, well, how do I talk? So you've got to have a core message. Your last show that we're following this up from was about fear and overcoming fear and understanding. You had a core message. And then because of your experiences, you were able to wrap everything around that and help people break through. When people are creating videos, I do the same. So what is the core message you're going to give? And the ultimate core is you help people with their wealth creation. And then within there, you've got little subtitles and challenges, basically, to help them get through. When you sit down to mentor somebody, is it the same process? Is it the same, what is your message? What do you say to them? How do they get that story, as it were? Is that what you teach them? Get a story for yourself?
Yes, so it's actually even the way when I teach business planning, which again the course is online, I tell people you need to tell the story of your business.
Yes.
Because it doesn't matter how old we get, we all love to hear a good story.
We do.
You know?
It's in our DNA.
Even as kids, of course, we loved it, but then as we grow up, we asked our parents, I want one more story. They said, oh, you grow up now, you don't need this story from me, so you read it yourself. But we love to hear stories. So if you are able to tell the story of your business to others, to say, okay, this is my business is about, then don't worry about those learning how to pitch, elevator pitch, and stage pitch, and other things. If you can't tell it from your heart, what is your business is about, then nobody can take it or understand it. And the same way it goes when I do mentoring with people. So the first thing for me is to find their why, because that itself, at least, is a session. Because without knowing your why, you are following somebody else's dream. I had clients that, okay, this guy, he's a dentist making about $500,000 a year, but he was not happy. He was famous amongst colleagues and the people in the community that this guy is just moody. One day he's good, one day you can't even talk to him. So that's why any patient goes to him, then the next patient asks him what mood is he in. So imagine how bad he was. But even though he's a very, very skilled dentist, he's very good, but he didn't love what he was doing. And then we found out he became a dentist just because his mother wanted to become a dentist. He had no desire whatsoever for this job. And he followed his passion. Now he is a developer. He makes obviously the same money, at least, and he's happy. That's the bottom line. No matter what we do, at the end of the day, we want to be happy. Because once we're happy, we can make other people happy as well.
It's listening to you, and it's same with setting up TV studios, and people say, how do you put it all together? And I said, you've actually got to be, when you're producing shows, you've got to be quite disciplined. Everything runs in a certain sequence, it runs in a certain pattern. I'm just wondering, when you get people in wealth creation and overcoming fears and things like that, how do you get someone who may have come from undisciplined to start be going, we have to be, if you want to do it, you said action's the word before, how do you get them from being that to being, is it important, I suppose, to be disciplined, and how do you get them there?
Of course, no matter what we do in life, we have to be disciplined. Whether you want to, run for Olympic, okay, forget about Olympic. Even if you just want to go for a marathon, just run with the friends, you need to be disciplined to do that. So even if you want to cook a meal, you need to be disciplined to follow the recipe. You can't just say, okay, first I want to throw this and then this because I want to see what's going to happen. Because the result won't be the same. Anything we do in life, whatever you want, so it has to be disciplined. But often people, when they hear the word discipline, they just think, then that I'm strained, that I can't,
hard work.
Yeah. So that's why I said, you need to change our perception, to change the mindset around even the words that we hear. Because as humans, we are so limited with our language that we talk to each other. Sometimes we say same thing, but completely different meaning.
Yes.
So that's why when it comes to discipline for wealth creation, I tell people that, look, you need to follow this session. If you can commit to this, then I'm committed to help you.
I noticed that in your programs, definitely worth checking out and looking at them, you're starting to bring discipline in. There's certain times they have to do certain sequences, certain exercises, and you set them up. Is that ingraining success in them by even just having it in proper time frames?
Very much, because sometimes we get information too soon.
Right.
Or we act too soon, or with little info, we just go and act on something.
Guilty.
Which so many people.
Guilty.
Yeah. So that's why it's very important that when to do what. So, we can't just go ahead of time and do something. So that's why, especially in wealth creation, I tell people, even if you don't do anything in terms of a strategy or, let's say, taking position in buying shares or whatever, not taking any position, it's the position itself. So don't think you are missing out. Some people, they just want to do something, rush it. Unfortunately, wealth creation is nothing like that. That can happen with a rush.
Yes.
Okay? You need to not just sit there forever for the right time, but you need to be prepared. And that's why they said the luck happens, that when you are prepared and opportunity meets, this is when people, they say, okay, that person got lucky. But they don't know how much work went through it behind the scene to prepare, so then they can take that position or that investment.
It's really interesting when you talk like this, because we obviously do shows and people don't see how much preparation you do. And then you just talk to camera like, this is so natural, I'm just talking, and people go, just sits there and just talks. But it is the preparation, isn't it? The better prepared you are, the more successful you tend to be.
For sure. And honestly, for me, even doing these shows are a self-development for me. I'm creating a better person of myself, because that's every time I want to do a show, first of all, I have a map of what I want to talk about. It's not just take it from here and there or pulling out of in a bag, okay, what I'm going to talk about next time. There is a sequence, as you mentioned, about how I want people to learn and what to learn and when to learn. But at the same time, then I need to do whatever comes in my mind, I write it down.
Yes.
So it's just at least about 10 pages of scribbling here and there and doing some research, because obviously I want to give quality stuff to you, not just whatever comes to me. So I'll do again extra research on what I'm talking about, even adding a quote from someone or learning from something. But luckily, because I've done so many of mentoring myself, and I've had many coaches, many mentors in different areas of my life, I'm very lucky that I can easily refer to my notes from those times and say that, okay, how I learned these things and how I can connect them together.
Yes.
And then, after all of that, then it's practice.
I have a bit of a sequence whenever I'm going for a new project, and I guess it comes from making videos and so forth, and even doing art, and I do the same thing on that. But I'll write the outcome that I'm looking for. And then I'll be honest with myself. I'll identify some of the challenges and some of the gaps. I tend not to get overwhelmed by it, but I'll write down 3 or 4 of the biggest ones. But then I'll say, okay, but where are some of these solutions I can find? And I'll write down 3 or 4 solutions, and I'll go, so if I'm going to start anywhere, I'll just pick one of the solutions, diarize it, and then go work on that. And it's almost like a domino effect. Once you start getting one or two solutions rolling, the others seem to disappear. The ones that you thought were going to be a problem, it's like, where's that problem gone? It's no longer there.
Exactly.
Do you do a similar process with people? You get them to be honest where they are, get them to take one step. And do you find when they're moving then that, what happened to that other problem we're going to, it's gone?
Exactly. As you mentioned, it's just like a domino effect. When you fix one area, so that's the good thing about self-development journey. When you fix one area, it seems other areas are actually working well together. They just gradually disappear there in the background. So that's why when we say, when you are, let's say, have a fear of rejection, even let's say you want to ask someone out and you have a fear of rejection there, if you work on that, then your fear of making money, that's going to be disappearing. So I had clients, for the last 2 years, she wanted to leave her current job because she's not happy. She doesn't like it. It's a small family business. They don't know what they're doing. And anyway, she's not enjoying it. She's an engineer. She's got a very good job, and skills. You expect that she can find job anywhere else. She's even scared to go apply for other jobs, just in case that, what if I go there and they will be like them as well, then what I've got. So imagine for 2 years she's been living in misery, but because she's just a friend and talking in the social gathering, whinging about her life, so she hasn't got to this. They said that you need to work on it. But you see, imagine her life. So that fear is stopping her, to ask. And once actually she said that all my life I've been like this, and that's the problem.
It is, isn't it? It's amazing. And I always look at you only get one shot at this. Well, as far as I'm aware, and it doesn't matter what religious background you are, they can say you come back and people believe in afterlives. And maybe you do. I just can't remember any of my past lives.
Exactly.
So even if that's true, I still can't remember them. So I kind of go, this is my one shot here to just enjoy it to the maximum that I can enjoy.
For sure.
And we all get fearful, whether you're getting in front of cameras, whether you're coaching someone in wealth creation, whether you're making that first step and trying to build your own wealth. My number one factor, I've always said, this is my take, you need a mentor. Every successful person, Richard Branson's got mentors, Bill Gates has got mentors. Every single one of them have got mentors around them to help them get through, because they know that one of the things that they can't do, they can't look at themselves.
Exactly. Yes.
It's very hard to look inside yourself.
For sure. Yeah. Sometimes we are so cruel with ourselves that will stop us moving forward. And sometimes we are just really letting ourselves get away with anything. So that's why you always need a mentor on your corner.
Yeah.
Just to keep you on your feet and make sure you will follow your dreams.
That's why you need to keep watching this show. And check out, where's the best spot for them to go for your courses? Because they're absolutely fantastic, because you can actually do it in the privacy and the security. If you're a bit nervous, you can do it in the privacy of your own home. You don't have anyone watching or any pressure, but you get to do it by yourself. And then when you want to get in contact with you, you can. What's the best way of getting those courses, Helia?
The website is easy. It's onlineacademy.Helia Singh. So just go in there. We're going to put the website in the course as well. And just get in there and watch it.
Fantastic. It's been an absolute pleasure coming on your show.
Same here. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your effort. Thanks a lot.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Helia Singh, and welcome to my show, Wealth Coaching with Helia Singh, the fastest way to build wealth.